Now here, he's pulling him back differently, and his hand's more like this, pulling him back, right? But where's his own left arm, right? Blocking his left arm. See, that's what I mean. When you have your arm up, right, you're not blocking an attack, right? But here you can be block the attack, right? So you got to think about what can your opponent do when you're putting him in the hold, and can he do something back to you before, right, you complete the technique, right? When you do the hold a certain way and you expose your whole left side, well, he can elbow you from behind, right? Himself, or in the groin, right? So to do that, that covers that up, that right? But you got to pull him back a certain way, that right? Even with under the right. Now the way you defend that, you don't even get in. You use your chin, right? right. But that one's kind of hard to defend, right? You got one arm in a lock, right? The other arm's nullified by the left arm, right? And there you got me completely, and I can't do nothing but go down, right? I gotta comply then, right? That's what I mean, right? You don't give anybody, though, who you don't know their training level, right, any means to attack you back before you can subdue them, right? Okay. They're not your friend that they're attacking you anymore, right? You're beating someone outside the dojo. So don't take nothing for granted. Now, if you catch it with the element of surprise, it may not matter, but you never know. You never know, right? Either, right? I keep pointing that out too. Just be careful with certain techniques, right? Never said you can't use them, but be aware. And realize, right, we're all different but similar, right? Too. And see, like I told her one more time, I'm reading more of the Bible than churches are teaching me. Therefore, I'm not thinking like you anymore. I'm in the liberty of Christ. Right? I know I can have premarital sex if I intend to marry the girl. You're still thinking, well, I gotta wait for marriage before I have sex, but you're doing something sexual with me, right? Oral sex is no. In the church too, honey. You can't split hairs, right? You can't let me do oral and sex, right? Even if it's quickie, right? If I let you quick and stick it quick, right? That's called a quickie. We're under the tree in the park in Spain. It's still Spain, right? In Palma. That's the name of the port, right? And the island's called Malacca or something like that. I don't know. Whatever it's called, right? I know. So again, right? But see, I'm going down on her too, and then I stick her too, and then she didn't say I couldn't do both, right? So who's splitting hairs? She is, right? I'm not trying to get her in trouble either. I wanted to marry her. That's all. I'm looking for a girlfriend / wife, right? Someone to marry me, right? And go through all the, like Daphne did, right? But I don't think she really wanted a husband when she wanted her daughter, like I said, right? And I figured that out, and I stayed away too, right? I didn't cause no problems there, right? None. I couldn't handle them. Even if she did wander in there, I'm not going to touch her that way. But I might have to deal with something else. See? Well, I say she has to pee, right? Or I think she has to pee, right? I might have to do something a little different, right? To deal with that, right? Versus, right? Even knowing she came in there or not, or why. Why would a 4-year-old wake up and sleep a 24-year-old, right? With her mom and her in the same room. Either she's curious, right? Or whatever, right? But I don't know either, right? I don't know. Now, I don't even remember if Daphne bathed her that night. Like I said, those are details I don't remember. Either she did or didn't, right? So when I'm talking like that, I'm giving you two choices because I don't know, right? I don't remember, right? And the problem is, you can't make me remember. Seems like you're trying to do that and make me think something happened with Daphne and my stepdaughter, right? And I would involve her too if her daughter woke me up, right? Or not, but there's the point, right? I think I would because I would be freaked out by it myself, right? More than not. But it's part of my life now. You marry me, fool. Like we married, right? Even if we're divorced now, right? That can happen too. To me, you're an unbeliever who didn't really want a husband, but your daughter back, right? So I accept that and moved on and met other women, right? Now I'm trying to find another woman who understands premarital sex don't mean you don't get married, right? Some of you aren't understanding that still, right? But I can't set the date. You have to, but there again, sex is sex, to a point too, right? I don't see it as fornication or adultery if I intend to marry you, but you gotta intend to marry me or you're committing fornication or adultery, right? See, if we're not on the same page, we're not doing it the same way, right? And see, I don't know what I'm doing at night, right? Because I just think I'm sleeping through it, right? Though I wake up kind of about halfway, about 4 hours later. After I go to sleep too, right? And twice a night I'm waking up about 4 hours later, which is probably because of watches and things like that, right? I don't know. But, and I'm on water pills, so that means you have to pee. But usually you pee after sex too. Don't you, ladies? Don't we both? But why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? What part of the body are we using? Not only is it the part you urinate out of, both of this, it's also the part that goes inside something. Some put it up the butt. And some don't, right? I'm probably the one who don't, right? Either one. Not as much in the butt sex as straight sex, right? I know. Some even consider that gay if you do it with a woman, right? I don't know, right? But I try not to tempt the Lord if I'm telling you not to be gay, right? I don't even try to have butt sex with a woman, right? Definitely not a man, right? But I can't condemn it, right? See. I know. I'm not to judge you, right? At least I'll be judged, right? Even if I'm with the wrong woman, that is kind of adultery. You're not wrong. It is kind of fornication, right? Kinda, right? But who's really committing it, me or her, right? See, I'm not trying to commit fornication even with premarital sex. The church is acting like premarital sex is fornication or adultery. Automatically didn't stop, right? Unless you're telling that to your daughters, right? See, then you're lying to them about the premarital sex. If they're not betrothed, boyfriend is not betrothed, fiance is betrothed, marriage, you have a husband. Two of those matter. The first one, not as much, right? You can still break up with your boyfriend before you get engaged, too, right? That's between you and him, right? And I'm hearing on 98.3, they're having these people call up, and this woman today and her husband hired this pretty Latina girl to clean the house or something, and it went from 3 months to once a month to once a week, right? Mm-hmm. And she has the station to call them up, asking to send her a dozen roses, right? And she gets all mad because the husband agrees to it. But there again, the real story is she don't like roses herself, right? I mean, he already knew that, right? And right, She just ruined her own relationship. Because she's jealous the other woman's hotter or prettier. And it went from 3 to 1 to once a week, right? But what is the situation? What is she cleaning, right? Does it need to be clean once a week, right? See, otherwise she's being jealous, right? See, jealousy is the green-eyed monster, honey. And I don't own you, though, even if we're making love, and you don't own me, right? It's like I fantasize about certain celebrities, but I don't say I know nothing about them, right? Except same as you, right? If I fantasize of Kim Kardashian, Doja Cat, or something like that's my forte. That's what I like. But even if I don't, right? I'm not telling you because it's your business. I'm telling you because that's the kind of woman I'm into, right? Right? Between Kim Kardashian, the Asian girl, redhead. I don't mind your nationality if you want to be my girlfriend, right? You can be a blonde, you can be a brunette, you can be, right? But you got to commit, right? Or you're having premarital sex with me and you're not listening, right? That you're doing wrong first. You're not supposed to tempt me and I'm not supposed to tempt you with premarital sex unless I intend to marry you, right? See, if I intend to marry you, right, and you don't, right, we're unevenly yoked together in unbelievedness, right. We're not believing the same thing, right? So even if you get pregnant and you depart from me, right, you have the choice then to have the baby or abort the baby, and I would support you either way, right? I can't make you keep our child, nor can I make you have a child you don't want, right? But I would have married you too, if you are legally old enough to. Even an underage girl working in a store illegally can't say I knew she was 15, right? Keep telling you that too. You can get mad about it all you want. It's true, I know. She can't break the law either, nor can you. That's why the rules are to protect children from underage working. It's called child labor laws because some kids in the sweatshop as early as 9 or younger, right? You can't do that in America. You got to go back to where you came from. Then you can do that crap. Who cares? But in America, we care about the age of the person who's doing the job. Now, we're not talking about something a 14-year-old, 15-year-old can do, like working in McDonald's or working in the thing, right? The theater even, right? They can do that, right? But she probably ain't been out since either, has she? Right? And you're making it about her. I wasn't making about no one but anyone in general, right? See, you knew she was 15. But she told me she was 37, right? Even if she told me afterwards, right? And I don't remember that part. And we did it 3 times or 2 more times after the first time, right? And we're in the bathroom for 15 minutes. You know we're doing something. You just can't have a camera in there, right? It's a private area, right? That if 1 or 2 people can even fit, and I can fit. I ain't that big fool. I got what's called a barrel chest. My chest is equal to my belly, right? That's called a barrel-chested person, right? When your chest is as big as your belly ain't extended out alone, right? That means my upper body was more in shape when I got my belly, right? And my upper body grew with my belly, right? As I started lifting more weights, right? I know, right? That's why too. I'm like a barrel, right? I'm even, right? My chest is even with my stomach, right? But there's a little hourglass in between because I'm thinner here, right? But bigger here, right? At the lower part, right? It's kind of like the Buddha without, you know, with chest muscles. Right. They call them pecs, right? And pecs can be bigger than combs sometimes too, right? Ain't that right, Carla? Now, not like in Sin City, though. Right. If you know what I mean, Carla. I don't know her either, but like I said, right. There were no longer. The muscle man's boob wasn't bigger than Carla's boob in Sin City. Carla's were by then. If you know what I mean, right? If you've seen the movie. But that's fantasy. Right. See, you also, like I told you, have to discern fantasy in your mind from fantasy in the world, too, right? You got to determine the law, right, that you can do from the law you can't do. And they allow consensual sex in Georgia at 16. See, that's the problem, too. See, consensual sex has nothing to do anymore with age, right? Once you reach that age of consent, right? If it's 16 in Georgia, the 16-year-old can consent to sex with an older man, right? No matter his age, right? I told you that too, right? That's different, right? Right. Right. But I'm not trying to force her to have a child with me, right? But she could. And he was taking it for granted. And they're going to bitch about it again. He's going to say something again. Even though he's wrong, right? I know him. And it's the dad then, not the girl, right? You understand why? His daughter's acting like she's 37 to me when she's 15. I don't know, right? First time I went into that store to get my nails done, right? He knew she was 15. He knew I could show up that day, right? Unless he tried to deviate me the night before, right? With another woman, right? Because he can't get in my home. The woman can't, right? Told him that too, didn't I? Right? So he can tempt me with the woman who looks like her, but not her. But again, right, she has to come to me, right? And if she leaves, I'll let her go too, right? I don't force her to stay. Right? Though I want her to stay, like, again, right? That song says, right? I won't make her either, right? And then who's doing the one night stand? Her. She's coming to my house, and I'm letting her go home, right? If we don't live in the same house. So no, I don't own her, right? And making love is not evil either. Satan says it is. Jesus says it's not, right? Jesus says to forgive the sinner, right? Even if they don't acknowledge their sin to you, they can acknowledge it to God in their mind, right? Even the thief on the cross, right, could have repented mentally, even if he didn't say that, right? After Jesus died, right? You don't know. You don't know if he did or didn't. And all he has to do is repent before he dies, right? And realize he sinned, right? Even if no one wrote it down, right? I say he did say, well, I just see what the other thief meant, right? I did do something wrong. He did not, right? But at the end, see, they both have to die before sundown, right? Sundown, you better take care. Gordon Lightfoot, right? But see, they got to be dead by sundown. Jesus was already dead. They just stabbed him with the spear, remember? And that would kill anyone. Even the Son of God with boobs on the cross, right? So you can't see him until he's naked, right? He went naked. Where does it say he was naked ever until the cross? Nowhere. He did take off his outer garments, but they have on inner. They have on inner and outer, right? They wore like 4 types. an inner garment and outer garment, and Jesus had on a girdle around his chest, right? That's what they're saying, but Peter ain't wanting them to say it. Paul did, fuck Peter. John did, fuck Peter, right? But, right. Excuse my French there, you know what I mean, right? I say that too, right? Why? Because Peter became the problem and the solution to the problem, right? Right. He still tried to help, right? But also wanted philo love over agapeus, right? AS is feminine, right? And plural in the Greek, right? Thea is goddess. Theo, philo, Peter, is just brotherly love. That ain't enough. You don't even want to phileus, right? But that should be philos too, John. It's the ass Peter showing his ass with and not speaking for them, right? As Balaam, right? And Balaam worshipped the male deity too above the female, right? All men do, women do. That's why they make themselves the first image of God and her last, right? But Jesus is the first and the last, and the first with the last. See, we're both last, right? Jesus, right? See, the male and female might be after Christ, right? They're not before him, right? And the female's greater in the image because she's 3x 1y. Told you that before, right? In the body, she's greater than him, right? Out the body, he's greater than her, right? It's, again, the equilibrium of Jesus. The oneness of Christ makes us all one. And there's no one who's not in Christ's body, right? No matter your situation, whether you're rich or poor, bond or free, black or white, gay or straight, right? We're all in Jesus. We're all in Jesus. And we're fighting Satan's judgment of us, right? His condemnation, his own death, right? He went down into the grave, though he too, after the millennial reign of Christ, will be cast out his grave, right? And given 2,000 more years to repent, right? Wow. That's our grace, right? Grace is greater than judgment, right? In God. But to man, judgment is greater.